What is going on, guys? Lone here, bringing you another Diablo 3 video. Today we're going to look at the Witch Doctor and the Helltooth set, the Helltooth build, if you will. Let's go ahead and take a look at the Helltooth build set bonuses here. Set number 2 says, enemies hit by your primary skills, Acid Cloud, Fire Bat, Zombie Charger, Zombie Dogs, Gargantuan, Grasp of Death, Piranhas, or Wall of Death are afflicted by necrosis, becoming slowed, taking 1500% extra weapon damage every second, and taking 20% increased damage from all sources. And that includes people you're running with, your pets, everything. Takes 20% increased damage there. Set number 4 says after applying this necrosis to an enemy, you take 50% reduced damage for 10 seconds. That's 50% damage reduction right there. That in and of itself with those two is OP. Now 6th set says after casting Wall of Death, gain 900% increased damage for 15 seconds to your primary skills, Acid Cloud, Fire Bat, Zombie Dog, Zombie Charger, etc. That is OP, man. That is great. That's what makes this build so good. But it causes servers to lag quite a bit when you're running with groups in higher greater rifts and things. And they're trying to fix that. Hopefully they do. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and take a look at another piece here. Those were our ancient gloves. We got our ancient shoulders. 650 int, vitality, all res, and reduce cooldown. This isn't what you want. You want all pieces to be ancient, of course, but you would want intelligence, vitality, armor, and wall of death damage 15%. That is what you want in this slot. I unfortunately haven't found those yet, but this is what I have, so this is what I'm using. The armor, again, this is what I found. This is what I'm using. This is an ancient Helltooth tunic. 3 sockets with topazes, of course. Int, vit, percent life. You would want intelligence, vitality, and wall of death damage, ideally, or armor, if whatever. Wall of death damage would be preferable. Let's go ahead and take a look at our belt here. Belt of Transcendence. This is so you have more pets out, and those pets hit like crazy. You do not want a winching hour here because it's simply not needed. I've tested it out. You do less damage overall. You want this. You want those extra pets out there to do the damage, and I'll explain why in a second. This is your Helltooth pants here. Again, I found ancient. I got lucky. You want int, vit, not all resistance. You want that to be armor, but this is what I have. You want 2 sockets with int gems in them. Helltooth boots, int, vit, movement speed, and I put it to acid cloud damage here. Now this is perfect. These boots are good. This is what you want set up here. Okay, let's take a look at our rings here. Focus and restraint. You're going to want intelligence, crit damage, crit chance, as high as you can get those, both with sockets. You're going to want Bane of the Trapped in one. And I have Enforcer in my other. Now this is what makes this build controversial. This is slightly different from all the other Helltooth builds you're going to see because I do that. I theorycraft, I come up with things, and shout out to Ansel for helping me discover this magical thing. But I have Enforcer gem in here for extra pet damage and pet damage reduction, which really doesn't matter right now. But our amulet is a Hellfire amulet with spiritual attunement passive with crit hit damage. Vit and int. In an ideal world, you'd want an ancient Hellfire amulet with intelligence, crit hit chance, crit hit damage, and a passive that we'd use. I have Bane of the Stricken in here for increased damage against elite guardians by 25%, and each attack I make against an enemy increases the damage it takes for my attacks by 1.37%. Let's take a look at our bracers. We have Drom's bracers here. Ancient poison damage, int, vit, crit hit chance. Wall of Death deals 79% increased damage and can be cast up to 3 times within 2 seconds before the cooldown begins. So that means 3 Wall of Deaths out there. That is crazy. More necrosis, more damage, more proccing. It's great. And I have a secondary 3.9% chance to knockback on hit. This rolled kind of low with the orange affix there. It rolled a 79. It can go all the way up to 100, but that's what I have. Now what really sets this off, and the reason I'm using Acid Cloud is because of this weapon here. There's other weapons you can use that I can show you those in a second, but we're using the Sungwo Diviner. Yeah, the damage roll on this is really low for being an ancient, but it is what it is. Acid Cloud, as you can see in the orange texture, Acid Cloud gains the effect of Lob Rune. And if you look up in primary there, the little orange diamond says increases Acid Cloud damage by 84%. That can go all the way up to 100. So we got an ancient one here, 10% damage, int, vit. Yeah, so you're going to want vitality here. You don't need attack speed. So this is what really rounds out the build, is this one. Alright, so we also have the Mask of Dram here. Pets deal 95% more damage. This is going to be very important to this particular build, this version of the build that I and Ansel came up with. This build's focused around our pets. We do hit like a truck, but they will as well, now that we have the Mask of Drum and the Enforcer Gem. So we got 31.8% increased damage from pets here, from the Enforcer Gem, and we have 95% more damage here from the Helm. Invit, crit hit chance, and a socket with an Amethyst popped in there. That's what you're going to want up in here. So we talked about all our gear. Let's go ahead and talk about our skills for a second. Left click, you're going to want Corpse Spiders because you're going to want to trigger your Focus and Restraint with your primary skill here. And also the Helltooth set because enemies hit by our primary skills, you know, deal 15% extra weapon damage every second, take 20% in damage from all sources, so we're going to want to proc that. Our right click is going to be Wall of Death, again, for the procking of the other parts of the Helltooth. After like the primary skills here, like your left click, that would proc Focus and Restraint, and Wall of Death would also help proc the Necrosis as well. So that's what Wall of Death is for. And the 6 set bonus at the bottom where we gain 900% increased damage for 15 seconds for all the spells listed. Now, number 1 is going to be Acid Cloud because of a weapon with Acid Rain on there for increased area damage effect. And we also get the Lob Blob rune from the weapon. So we're going to want that there. That also is our mana spender for Focus and Restraint. 2 is Spirit Walk, Honored Guest. Honored Guest for mana. Because this build does consume mana quite a bit, so get mana where you can get it. That's what I'm running for number 2 here, Spirit Walk. Number 3 is for more mana, Horrify. It gives us 55 mana for every enemy horrified, so mana. Number 4 is Piranhas with Piranado for the increased 50% extra damage, and it also is procced by the Helltooth set as well. Our passives are going to be Grave Injustice for the cooldowns. That's not only for Wall of Death, but it's for a Spirit Walk, so we can get out of sticky situations and our Piranhas because there's cooldown on that as well. Confidence Ritual for 25% additional damage to enemies within 20 yards. Do not run Pierce the Veil because it increases your mana cost by 30%, and we can't afford to lose mana, so you're going to be running Confidence Ritual instead. Spirit Vessel, in case you happen to get smacked in the face by a large sledgehammer, or you know, from one of those what do you call them? I want to say Manticore, but those big, tall, pillar arm dude things, whatever the hell they're called. Spirit Vessel helps you stay alive. Gruesome Feast, this is very important too because when you're running with groups or you're running solo, every time you pick up a health globe, you gain 10% of your maximum mana and 10% of your intelligence for 15 seconds. Now when you gain 10% intelligence, it increases your damage right there. This stacks up to 5 times. So 50% intelligence is a huge thing if you manage to get it. Not only that, but the 50% extra mana as well, so that's great. So that's the build. Or the gear, that's the skills. Paragon points, we're going to have to reset this because I just did a video on the pet Dart Doctor. So let's go ahead and take a look at here. This stays the same. Movement speed maxed out, and then everything else into intelligence. This is where it's going to change. I got to see what my crit damage, crit chance is. Crit chance is really low right now, so we're going to go ahead and do this. We're going to go boom, boom, boom. Max out crit chance, then max out crit damage for my particular case, and then cooldown. Let's accept that. Let's take a look at defense here. You're going to want armor because we're in an ink class, so we automatically get resistance to all elements. So armor, max that out, max out life, and then either life regen or resist all. Really doesn't matter. It depends on what you need. Utility, of course, life on hit, maxed out, resource cost reduction, and then area damage or gold. The area damage or gold fine, or it's whatever. Area damage is what I go for because it has the word damage in it. It means something, right? Okay, so there's our Paragon points. Let's go ahead and show you this build in action, and I'll explain a little bit more on how it all works. I almost forgot to show you guys the cube here, and this is the cube. This is what I'm running. You're gonna want to run the Furnace for your weapon slot. You're gonna want the Grin Reaper in your armor. Now this is what makes the build very important. If you don't run this, it's not going to do the same amount of damage. You're going to do significantly less damage. You want Grin Reaper here. Trust me. You're going to have 3 copies of yourself out there, you know, of course, doing less damage than you, but your mimics count as pets. So we got to keep that in mind. Our ring is going to be the Ring of Royal Grandeur, of course, because we're using the Mask of Drama. I do have a Helltooth helmet, don't worry. This was a test, and it turned out to be successful. You would normally run Convention of Elements here, COE, for the oomph in the elemental damage when it rotates around, but this does just as good, trust me. Test it out, see for yourself. Ring of Royal Grandeur here, okay? Let's go see how it does. Okay, this is T8. I just got done doing the Zuni Dart Doctor build, but I guess this will work. So we're running solo, no pets, right? Yay! What I like to do is when I come across a group, I'll throw my primary skill out, my corpse spider. So you can see the mimics just proc there, which is pretty cool. So you throw your primary out to proc focus and restrain, then you start applying your wall of death to the enemy group. And then when you do that, it procs the necrosis, and you can put down your piranhas for the 15% extra damage. Then you can lay down some acid clouds. You're going to be spamming acid clouds. Remember, if that goes down and you're low on mana, you can't cast acid cloud anymore. Pop Horrify, and if you're still low, pop Spirit Walk. It'll give you some more mana, a little mana boost until necrosis comes back into effect. Then you can cast that a few times, cast a few more acid clouds. We're running Grave Injustice as a passive, and by that time, your cooldowns on your Horrify and your Spirit Walk will be back to help you out with the mana regen there as well. If you still find you're having trouble with mana, go ahead and switch out Gruesome Feast for something like Spiritual Attunement, which gains, maximum mana is increased by 10%. You regenerate 2% of your maximum mana per second, or Vision Quest. This works too, but it only works when you hit with your primary attacks. So let's go ahead and show you here. Like I said, you're going to run around, you're going to find some monsters, you're going to proc primary, start laying down necrosis, acid cloud, and everything dies. Let's go find some more. You can see the focus restraint went off, Drom's Revenge about to go away. My mimics found some monsters to kill. We're not finding anything. So like in the other video, let's go to Fields of Misery because this place tends to be full of mobs. Our belt of Transcendence is spawning these fetishes that you see running around me. You can get up to 15 of them from there. Let's go this way. Primary attack, necrosis, acid cloud, and everything dies. Your mimics that run around, the other skeletons that are around me, they'll cast all the spells that you have in your hotbar as well. That's why it's so important to have the Grim Reaper. Necrosis, primary, acid cloud. Spam, spam, spam. That's all you do. And everything just melts. Your crit numbers yourself might seem a little lower than if you were running Convention of Elements, but this is guaranteed crits. It's not waiting for that right elemental damage to roll around on Convention of Elements to get that extra damage. You don't have to wait. It's there always. It's constant. 4 or 5 for a little bit extra mana if you need it. Piranhas. Necrosis. It's amazing. So we're in combat still. We gotta go back to town real quick. Actually, I can show you right here. I'm not sure if I showed you, but I'm running the firewall on the Wall of Death. This is simply for the range of it. It's a 40-yard flame. Yeah, it's basically it. You can either run this or you can run the poison, depending on what element you're stacking. Poison works well too, but I find that the firewall actually procs it better. It makes a better area of effect. You know what I'm saying? Keep in mind you can cast this up to 3 times. So you can have like 3 walls going on or 3 acid circles going on at the same time too to proc it. So this has been the Helltooth build. If you enjoyed it, like button below, subscribe if you have not. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Take care.